Good day everyone! This video concerns about the Module 3 of Accounting Information System. We will answer 5 questions in line in Module 3 topics. So if you're ready, let's begin.
Good day and flying peace. I'm Beth Rachel May MILLORA, and I will answer question number 1 from the 5th set of questions for Module 3 Activity 1. So question number 1 is, what is an audit trail? An audit trail records who, which pertains to the user or the application program, and the transaction number, when, or the time and date, from where, or the location of the user and or the terminal, and what, or the identification of the data affected. In audit trail, transaction or data can be traced through a data processing system, either from origin to output or output to origin. Audit trails can be used to support security objectives in 3 ways. First, detecting unauthorized access to the system. Second, facilitating the reconstruction of events. And third, promoting personal accountability. Accountants should be able to trace in both directions. It's either from source document to journal, to general ledger up to financial statements, or from financial statements to general ledger to journal to source document. In addition, the information contained in audit trail is useful to accountants in measuring the potential damage and financial loss associated with application errors, abuse of authority, or unauthorized access by outside intruders.
So for question number 2, why have accounting software packages have been designed with separate transaction modules? So not every organization needs transaction cycle. It is because of the reason that the software packages are only modularized for the modules that they need. And so the companies decided to modularize this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that their majority stage. And the second reason is that they may want to outsource certain processes or parts or processes to separate service organizations. And so by this, since every organization does not necessarily use all of those transaction cycles in its operations, it is the advantage of the organization to be able for them to pick and choose from among various software modules that track and records different transactions. So, for example, a law firm would have no need to implement a production cycle module. And also, the nature of transaction cycle varies across the broad spectrum of business organizations. So again, a law firm would have a revenue cycle, but it would not involve the purchase, receipt, and payment for products or merchandise. Likewise, a retail store chain may not sell any consulting services to its customers.
In accounting and AIS, what is the relationship between the general and subsidiary ledger?
A corporate accountant typically records operating transactions in a ledger, a type of accounting document. Detailed transactions information is registered in a subsidiary ledger. Then all subsidiary ledger data are reported in a general ledger at the end of a quarter or year. General ledger and subsidiary ledger accounting methods help an accountant or bookkeeper record a firm's financial information. The general ledger contains summary level information about every asset, liability, equity, revenue, and expense account in an organization. The balances in general ledger accounts form the starting for preparation of financial statements and various other financial reports. A subsidiary ledger account provides support for any general ledger account that has need of maintaining individual sub-accounts. For example, accounts receivable, accounts payable, inventory, and fixed assets. The subsidiary ledger records and maintains the detail level information for a general ledger account by having a separate record of each customer, vendor, inventory, item, or fixed asset. The individual sub-account balances in a subsidiary ledger should equal the balance found in the general ledger account. A general ledger account that corresponds to a subsidiary ledger account is known as a control account.
Describe the basic business activities and transactions for a typical merchandising company. The basic business activities and transactions for a typical merchandising company is revenue, sales goods and services to customers, and collect cash and expeditor, obtain goods and services from vendors and pay cash. Human resources hire qualified employees, train them, pay them, evaluate them, withhold and pay taxes, file tax form, and comply with government regulations of employment, financing investment in company, procuring and repayment of loans, and payment of dividends and interest.
Hi, this is MILLORA. My part is to discuss and answer the last question, which is the fifth one. The question is, coding systems are used throughout accounting information systems. Describe some useful guidelines that will result in a better coding system. So first of all, coding system is simply a system of signals used to represent letters or numbers in transmitting messages. Here are the following guidelines that will result in a better coding system. First is, the code should be consistent with its intended use, which requires that the code designer determine the desired system outputs prior to selecting the code. Second guidelines is to allow for growth in the number of items to be included. For example, don't use a 3-digit employee code for a fast-growing company with 980 employees. Third, be as simple as possible to minimize the costs, facilitate memorization and interpretation, and ensure employee acceptance. And the last guidelines is to have a better coding system is to be consistent with the company's organizational structure and across the company's divisions. So those are some of the guidelines that will result in a better coding system. This is Group 5. Thank you and God bless.